Hey guys, welcome back. So the first thing we're going to do is use a makeup wipe just to get rid of any excess dirt or oil from your client's face. And the makeup wipes that I normally use are either, I believe, M.A.C or Neutrogena. Always start off with a clean canvas before you do your application for the best results. Now we're going to apply moisturizer. The moisturizer that I'm using is by Embryolisse. I typically don't use primers. I kind of just use the moisturizer as my primer, but it's all up to you. Now I'm just outlining her brow. I'm going to fill them in later, but for right now, I'm just giving it a clean look. And the concealer that I'm using is a concealer from the Graftobian palette. It's the Warm palette. I'm honestly not sure what color it is that I'm using, but you can determine what color to use by your complexion, or if you're using a client, their complexion. The concealer brush that I'm using is by Coastal Scents, and it's just a really small detailed concealer brush. Now I'm on to prime the lid. So you want to make sure that you prime your eye before you apply any eyeshadow. It helps your eyeshadows to stick on better, to blend better, and also to show up a lot brighter. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use is by Morphe, and it's their Picasso palette. I think it's like their Pick Me Up collection, but I'm going to put everything that I'm using down below in the description box. Just to save time, I don't really want to focus on the products that I'm using. I just really want to give you guys the details on what I'm doing. So you always want to start off with your transition color, and you want to blend it out, and then you're going to go in with your crease color next. Even though this video is very sped up, I take a lot of time blending, so make sure you're really taking your time to blend and diffusing those harsh edges. Now this next step is pretty optional. I'm just doing it because I want the blue to really pop and want to show it off a lot more. What I did basically was take the same concealer that I used under her brow to give it a base for that blue eyeshadow. And what we typically call this is cutting the crease. Now I'm just lining the top of her lid with this liquid gold eyeshadow. Now I am going to apply her foundation. I'm using a damp beauty blender to apply her foundation. You can use a brush if you like, it just depends on what you prefer. Be sure to really take your time blending out your foundation. You don't want it to look patchy or cakey, so just take your time. Don't mind all the talking that we're doing in this video. We were spilling a lot of tea, so that explains why we're talking so much. After I've blended the foundation, I'm going to now go in with the concealer. I am going to conceal under her eyes, the bridge of her nose, her chin, and her forehead. I am going to blend out the edges first. That's what I always do. I always diffuse the edges just to make it look a lot softer. Now I am getting ready to contour. I'm just carving out her cheeks, her forehead, and her temple. When you're contouring and concealing, you want to make sure to use a concealer that's 2 to 3 shades lighter or darker than your skin complexion. I also contoured her nose as well. I'm going to blend out her contour, and I'm using a dual fiber brush. Remember to blend really well, guys. You don't want any harsh lines while doing this. Now I'm going to set her under eye. I'm using a brush to do this method because of the powder that I'm using. Some people decide to bake, but I do not bake. I typically set any area that looks oily or may get oily throughout the day. Now for this part, I'm just going under her eye, and I'm basically using the same colors that I used on her lid to blend out her bottom lash line. Now I'm going to fill in her brows, and I'm going to set that with brow gel. If you guys want to see an eyebrow tutorial just based on my brows and how I fill them in, let me know below. I'm going to spray her face and then I'm going to apply her highlighter. Now, I used a different highlighter that I was trying out on her. I normally don't do that. I normally just stick to the basics. However, the highlighter was way too dark and I had to use a lighter highlighter to make the highlight pop. So makeup is all about, trial and error. If you ever make a mistake, you always can correct it. Now I'm going to bronze up her cheeks, and I'm going to go in with a darker contour powder for her cheekbone. The same gold liner that I added to the top, I'm going to add to the bottom. I apply her mascara and lashes off camera as well as her inner tear duct highlight color. I'm going to do a final spray to set her makeup and then I'm going to apply her lip, and that's about it. So now she's all done, she's filming herself, and that's it for the video, you guys. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment as well. Thanks guys so much for watching.